So last time was a bit emotional. Got more emotional than I thought it would. But it was really difficult to talk about it. For you it was generally difficult to talk about?
Yes, totally. Oh, you did very well.
Yes. So I thought we follow up, because we said we'll be back when we are ready. I'm not sure when we are ready, but I feel like at least we can talk a bit about it without being too emotional. What I've learned is that the sadness doesn't really go away. It just becomes, or it just comes out less often, I guess. It's just it comes at unpredicted times now. Not before, it was like more or less constant when talking or thinking about it. Now it comes, it's like yesterday.
Sometimes
this boy was looking at you and you were crying.
Sometimes it's fine to talk about it. Sometimes it's not. So it's not, but it's not every time.
But there are certain triggers now, I guess. Like for me, it's listening some music, special song, listening lyrics. And for you yesterday, this boy triggering like a little, I don't know how old he was, like 2 years old maybe, or 1 year.
Less than a year.
Less than a year. And he was just looking at us, me and then Lauza, and it's almost like he was looking into her soul. And you started to cry after that.
Because, I mean, one time is fine, 2, 3, and he was constantly coming and looking and...
But deeply, like really deeply.
And not stopping.
Yes.
And at first it was so beautiful, I enjoyed it, and then at some point it just hit me. It was just unstoppable look into, like you said, like a soul.
Yeah. He looked deeply into your eyes.
Yes. And it was so sweet and touched me a lot, so it was beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess this is now, like we're having sessions with a therapist to work through this together, and she explained us that obviously that sadness and this grief will not go away, because we'll love Leah forever, but the way we deal with it, and we as a, I don't know, like we grow with it to a kind of a different level. It goes like, she was drawing like a thing, like where you go through like a valley almost of grief, and then you come out on the other side stronger than before. And we are basically working through this valley, I feel like, and climbing up on the other side, right? Do you feel that?
Yes. And she said also perspective. You start to see this from different point of view, because the further you go away, the different picture you see. Not different, but differently, isn't it? Because we said time heals, and she says time will not cure the situation. It helps you to see it from different angle, from different view, because you're further away and you see things differently, rather than when you're being in the situation. It's hard to see, it's difficult to understand, and with the time you start to understand situation more differently, basically. So, and that's a good thing, and that's a normal thing. And that she also mentioned that there are different types of griefs people experience, like from losing jobs to losing a home, and then people, of course, close to us. And she said that the hardest or the strongest grief is losing a child. So this is partly number one on intensity of grief. So didn't know that, did you?
No, but
kind of makes sense.
Makes sense, yes.
Yeah, so that was something interesting, but it was nice to go there and just check in that we are doing, well, that we are coping well, and everything we're experiencing is normal, and it's part of this journey. So there is nothing that is out of ordinary or thinking like something is wrong or something strange. So that's really beautiful too. That's why it's best in this situation not to be alone, and not to stay alone and be by yourself or feel alone. And you either have a partner, you have people around you, or you have a therapist that also you can check in with, and she's telling you this is normal, this is this is part of this, and it immediately elevates the spirit and elevates the mood.
I guess the understanding, right?
And
because
yeah.
I feel like sometimes we make ourselves wrong for being sad or not being sad or doing that, and we don't see that this is a process that is normal and it's individual to every single person, right? It's like every person will deal differently with it.
But it's good to check in with the person to see that,
to understand the process, I guess, to like zoom out a little bit and understand what's going on. Like for me, this like drawing with this Vali where she explained these different stages, and was quite helpful. Like to, and I feel like you have this quite often, that like if somebody then explains you and then tells you that this is kind of normal and you are like on the right path, it kind of
makes me feel better.
Makes you feel better, and you cope better with it.
Yes, for me it's clarifying my thoughts, and some thoughts that I feel like strange that I might have them. Like I don't know why I'm thinking that way. I don't know why. And once you just check in, I check in with a person like specialist in this case. It's almost like this little cloud just goes away, and I have a clearer sky, And obviously being in situation like this felt like you in a big storm. Being in a big storm that is, you just cannot leave a house even because it's so strong. You have to protect yourself from, and even like not even a house. It's almost like there's a storm and I'm under this tree, and the storm is so strong that I'm like just holding by this tree, and it's hard to hold on, but you're still standing there, and this tree is helping you to, protecting you a little bit to just not being blown away by the storm. And it's cold, it's windy, it's painful, and you just wait.
Because you're exposed, right? Like you're very exposed to something that you haven't felt before. It's like new emotions and new.
It's painful.
Very, very painful.
It is very painful, but then we know that after a storm, the weather gets better.
Yes, there's always sun afterwards.
Then sun comes, and that's where I think the period of grief, and for us, the therapy, and not just therapy, of course. Therapy is one way as well.
I mean,
one of the ways.
How we personally deal with it, and I think also our environment.
Yeah.
It's like I mentioned last time the talking, or like that people don't know what to say, and that in the beginning feels very, I don't know, like very strange in kind of two ways. Like on one side you like by ourselves, we had times where we didn't want to talk to anyone or see anyone. We just wanted to be alone, like just the two of us, and hugging and crying and whatever. And then there are times where we would like to just talk to someone, and I think the people around us also felt that kind of, like some people came head on and just approached us, and some people didn't know what to say, and the intention was to give us space. And there's no right or wrong, it's just different people do it differently, and like the way we experienced that was just also up and down. Sometimes the being approached and like people want to talk with you and like just open the subject and like talk it out was helpful. In other times it was kind of like too much, and the being quiet, the being quiet also, like sometimes it felt right, and sometimes it felt like there's no right words anyway, just let's talk, right? So it was an interesting, like all that normalizes now. So we're seeing friends again, we're going out. It kind of like time normalizes this whole behavior on both sides, I feel like, on our side and on our environment, right? Mm-hmm. So but that was interesting, generally, also when people write us, we got lots of comments from you. Thank you for those.
Thank you so much.
Like all your love, so we really felt, and we couldn't beautiful. Reply to everyone, but we read them all, and really thankful and grateful for all the love you sent our way. So
yes, and for our private messages as well. Some of you sent us emails as well. It was so nice, and thank you so much. I think it was for me also a new experience, because we were debating to share those first video or not, and at first I thought maybe it's not a good idea, but actually it was helpful for me, helpful I think for you too as well.
Yes.
And I do hope that will be helpful for someone else, because
we got messages that they were very grateful for sharing that, because they shared in their own experience, right? Yeah. And it helped to kind of have this dialogue, and I feel like it helped some people also to tell their story and get that off their chest somehow, mm-hmm. because generally in society I feel like we don't really talk about that, like you experienced like lots of people close to you, family, friends, who had similar experiences, but we actually didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that generally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was
so that was helpful in a way that it made me feel not alone at all. So this is first time for me to have that, and not to feel alone, obviously, having you by my side, having friends and family, having you guys as well approaching and reaching out, also having a therapist from the hospital that was provided as well, and people in the hospital. Everyone was just showing that you're not alone, it's okay, you'll be fine. It's that was so powerful.
Yes.
And makes a huge difference in the process of healing or going through that.
Also the hospital, I mentioned this last time, so we're really grateful for all the love and support and care that we got in the hospital from nurses and doctors, and which was, for me, I don't know if I would have expected this level of support and care, but it was really amazing. And even now when we go back to the hospital, it's now almost like 2 months later, like we come in and the nurse is hugging you, she remembers your name, the doctor remembers your name. Yes. Like it feels very personal, mm-hmm. and you can feel like how these people, and they're having, like, certain doctors have these situations all day long because that's the area they work in, and it must be really, really hard. And it's just the way I feel like personally cared for from them was amazing. I don't know what you feel.
Yes, I mean, the fact that obviously they reacted very fast, they did everything what was supposed to do, immediately react to the situation and send us to Lisbon. That was also very, we didn't expect that it was part of the care, basically, because they didn't have specialists here in Madeira. They organized us the flight tickets to Lisbon, hotel, appointment in hospital, and all the expenses that was going to Lisbon for that. It was all covered by the hospital. So, I mean, it was very quick. They were very fast. We went there for one night and came back, and that was, we didn't expect that at all. So it was so. It's a big care, because at this moment when I'm stressed and there's so many things in my head, and it was very very caring. I guess maternity, I've heard that in maternity that whatever expense needed for the case, it's always free, so it's always part of this journey. So no matter what's going on, if a pregnant woman has anything need to be done, this will be provided. So that was interesting experience, because I've heard from other friends who are pregnant in different countries, and when I shared my story, they were just blown away by what we received as a care here, compared to, like, I don't know, England, for example. And I'm not saying everywhere is the same. I guess there is depends on the city and even district. So it was a huge difference. So I feel really safe, supported, and cared for. So
yes,
it's we couldn't get that. It's probably somewhere else, which is probably not true.
I guess it will be available in other places too, but we heard various situations where it was different, and I felt very lucky and very, we are in a good place. We're in a very good place. Generally, I guess personally, we're getting stronger now. We're going out again. We're visiting our land again. Just nature took completely over. It's we shared before that we cleared the land, right? And now it's just a jungle, and it's beautiful. And all the flowers and bees and nature, and you almost don't want to touch it.
Yes.
Because it's just so beautiful, and
the weather is getting better.
The weather is getting good.
Summer is coming, so feels good. Looking forward for, it's good to have summer in front of us. Being more out and enjoying nature. So nature helps a lot as well. So that's beautiful.
Yes.
What else helps?
I mean, for me, it helps. Being in nature and being out is very good. Being at home, I'm a lot in my head, and that's not very helpful. So I like to go out and go for a hike, or just sitting on the land here is beautiful. Just watching the cow in front of us eating grass, and the bees being happy, and the flowers. So I feel good doing that. And we are going out and meeting friends again. So being with our friends is also good. I enjoy that time. We have various friends. Some of them, they live here on Madeira. Some of them are here, come and go. Mm-hmm. They live in different countries and come here to stay here for a while. So, Feels good. The ones which are not here, we miss you.
Yes.
From your side?
What helps?
What helps?
I mean, for me, helps, obviously, big help is Michael. Just, yes, just whenever, especially the beginning, because this, anytime I wanted to cry, I could just hug you, and it helps me to just, just be, and it passes, the sadness comes and it goes, and it's not like staying there for long, but it's there, it's coming and going, and hugging helps, and being present is very important. So this is a huge help during this time. And obviously therapy together, because even though we talk a lot together, and then speaking with therapist, then we discuss things together, right? So we open to certain topics we can discuss with therapist, that she explains us how things work sometimes, and then we discuss that together, and I like that. So it's like kind of conversation that moves us forward. That helps a lot. So when I spoke with a couple of my other friends who had also loss, very similar, and in 20 weeks loss, pregnancy, gestational pregnancy. So another friend lost a baby just before giving birth, and it's very painful, very difficult, and I think any time is difficult, isn't it? So, and although I knew about the story, now talking together about this really helped. So that was good. Talking with a few people, with the friends especially, about the situation, sharing certain experiences helped a lot to kind of understand each other and actually see there's so much in common in the moment that we could share. And it's not like you just hang in this feeling of sadness. It's just you go through it and then it just passes. It's not like it's staying there. So it was good. That was helping me. I know might not help to some other people, but that was helpful to talk with other friends who had similar problems. And friends, of course. Friends, our Barry and Celia, our dear friends, that were just, they couldn't wait until we're ready. They just showed up. 3 days later, they just turned at our door with flowers and said, we are here. And it's just without even asking, are you ready? We're here. Let's go out, have some coffee. And we don't have to talk about those things. We just need to be. And I think presence makes a huge difference. Just I'm here and it's okay. And more you see each other, it's getting better and better. There is no awkwardness. No, it was beautiful. I am very, very grateful for this experience. I did not know that it's actually a good thing, because usually the first reaction is like give a space to people, just give them time. But actually showing up, just like I'm here, here's a lunch, for example, or here's flowers, I'm here. And it's also a beautiful thing. It just breaks this distance. It breaks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no, because other people also worry, they also think about how do we approach that, how do we talk about it, how do we meet, when we meet, do we hug them, what do we do, you worry about those things, little things, but you do worry. But doing just like coming and just showing up, it just breaks this worries, and it disappears.
Yeah.
and it just things are rolling and just keep going. It's
I also
good.
had this experience at work, which was very unexpected. Like, I generally don't have lots of kind of personal chats at work. Like the contact is always about the project or this kind of things. But when this situation happened, like one of my colleagues reached out and said like, I'm here if you want to talk, and we had a call with each other. He's in Dubai, and we talked through it, and like he shared his own story. Like they didn't have a loss, but they had a how you call this, like a scare, a health scare or something with one of their pregnancies, and it worked out okay, but the period was very stressful, and they had like lots of negative kind of informations which they got through the scans and so on. And so we talked that through, and it was really nice to do that. And some another colleague reached out, like watched our last video, and she spoke about it, and it was really nice. Like I really enjoyed that. So it does help. And thank you for being so courageous.
It takes courage.
It feels like courageous to do that step from the other side, because you really don't know like
the reaction.
You don't know the reaction, right? And so it was very appreciated.
Very appreciated, yes. So I mean, what else? I mean, we're still in the process, you know. We still have our days, we still have moments, but we have now also space for doing other things, you know, wanting to do other things, because at some point we come on our land and we don't want to do anything. There's no desire to do anything. It's just there's this sadness just takes a lot of space.
Yes.
And gradually little things start to add more and take more space. And maybe sadness also like transforming. It's a transforming. It's not going anywhere, but it's transforming into different form, and it always will have a place for it.
Yes.
But it's not taking the whole space. So
yeah. So that to say that we're back again. I feel like we're coming back over and over again.
Many times.
It's like always coming back in a different space.
Yeah.
So yeah, want to go out, want to go back to the land. I don't really know where to start. Looking at it, it's just... Anyway, maybe we'll just enjoy it without doing any work. Going out for hikes, being in nature, and yeah, sharing how we go on, I guess. Right?
Yeah. It's a process, isn't it? It's not one thing and it's over.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Yes, really.
Being there, being with us, following our journey, caring about us.
Yeah, we did not.
It's really beautiful.
We didn't know that it's possible, even through this, you know, this
distance.
Distance, yes. Although you're very far, perhaps, but we could feel you. You know,
you're very close.
Here. Yes.
Far and close at the same time.
Absolutely. So we're very, very grateful. Thank you so much.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.